what's up everybody? Welcome back. Justin here. Before we dive into all the exciting news about the Fear Street Netflix series, in case you missed it, I've dropped a couple of other really cool videos this week. One, updating you on the brand new Pet Sematary movie coming exclusively to Paramount+. The other video telling you all about Bring It On Halloween, the new horror installment of the Bring It On franchise coming to the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm going to go ahead and link both of those videos down below so you can check those out. But right now, let's dive into everything we know so far about the Netflix film trilogy, Fear Street. The upcoming Netflix horror trilogy Fear Street is actually based on some books that came out way back in the 90s written by R.L. Stine. He's the guy that did the Goosebumps books. The Fear Street books ran from 1989 to 1998 or 1999 depending on where you read. Now of course most 90s kids remember the Goosebumps books, but R.L. Stine, the author of those books, also wrote Fear Street books that were geared to a little bit older audiences, and they actually had a body count. There was some blood and guts and people actually got killed in these books. The Goosebumps were way more kid-friendly, goofy stories about monsters, and kids didn't really get hurt. They're pretty harmless little books. But the Fear Street books, he let loose. Fear Street actually comes from a street in the fictional town of Shadyside where all the Fear Street books take place. Now, when all these books were coming out, I was a little bit younger, so I was reading the Goosebumps books. I remember these books coming out. They had really cool fonts, really cool artwork. They kind of were reminiscent of like VHS style artwork back in the 90s. Really flashy covers. I remember seeing those and thinking they were really cool. Now originally I was just going to do a trailer reaction because the trailer actually dropped today for the first movie in the Fear Street series, but the more I dug into it, it's actually a pretty cool concept, and the way these movies came about is actually pretty cool. So back before Disney bought Fox, Fox actually bought the rights to the Fear Street and was developing this series, and it was eventually sold to Netflix. Now they didn't just want to do a series, they actually wanted to do movies. They wanted to do something a little different with this series. Instead of just dropping an entire season of a television show, they actually wanted to do a movie and have each movie tell a separate story, but they're all connected. The three movies based on R.L. Stine books span some 300 years and star a who's who of today's brightest young talent. Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, Kiana Madeira from Trinkets, and Chiara Arulia from Cruel Summer. Those are some tough names. All three films, budgeted around $20 million each, connect around a 300-year-old incident that's been terrorizing the fictional Shadyside, Ohio for generations. The first film takes place in 1994 and is heavy on mall culture and early AOL chats while paying homage to the Scream movies and I Know What You Did Last Summer. The second film is set at a summer camp in the year 1978. Think Short Shorts and Color Wars, whatever that is, I don't know what that is, and references both Friday the 13th and Halloween. Stine wrote 52 books set in Shadyside, selling more than 100 million copies. Meant that the producers needed to think differently about how to exploit the source material. One film at a time wasn't an effective option. Because the company had ambitions for a franchise from the beginning, the thinking was that a group of writers could break the entire story over a series of movies. Writers worked together both before Janiak came aboard and after she was involved. Once the world was created and the scripts were complete, Janiak shot all three films at once, a tremendous endeavor for any filmmaker to take on. For Janiak, this was only her second feature project after her 2014 debut, the horror film Honeymoon. Janiak was also looking to subvert the horror genre she loves by focusing more on misfits and outsiders, the frequent heroes of Stine's series. Our characters normally wouldn't have lived past the first 15 minutes of a traditional horror film. Our movies are telling the stories of perpetual outsiders. 3 movies in 3 weeks meant Janiak could include clues in each film that would only be understood after watching all 3 movies. Netflix is certain the Easter eggs will encourage audiences to return to the trilogy again and again, the very definition of sticky content. So we're going to have 3 installments. We have Fear Street Part 1, 1994, and that's going to come out on July 2nd. Fear Street Part 2, 1978, that'll debut on July 9th. And Fear Street Part 3, 1666, which will debut July 16th. And these will be R-rated movies. They've said that these movies will be R-rated. There's going to be blood and guts. These are going to be legit horror movies. So knowing that all 3 of these movies are in different eras, but they're all going to connect, they're going to be R-rated, they're based on a pretty classic property by one of my favorite authors growing up as a kid, gives me a lot to be excited about. I'm super stoked to watch these movies. I hope this video was informative, and guys, like I said, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the Fear Street film trilogy. Kind of a big deal happening on Netflix. So, and guys, that is all I got for today. Stay weird, always be yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
I love movies. Gosh, I love movies. I love watching them, and I love making them.